Don't know if this works. It worked last time.
Oh yeah, it works. Stay tuned and see how I made these. I make and sell a lot of Christmas ornaments during the holiday season. I actually start making these in July. So I buy a pro pack from Michael's. It's about $50 for a 4-pack of 25 ornaments each. I buy the flat, what they call disc ornaments, and then I buy the round bulbs. And I have this little jig that I made. I'll link to the video on how I made this, but I can put my ornaments flat so I can pour from the side, or I can prop them up on the end, or I can prop them up from the bottom. There's just a lot of variety that I can do with my jig. It's awesome. I love it. And then I get to make a cool little painting with all the drips.
So my plan is to do a swipe on one side with acrylic paint. Once it's dry, I'll flip them over. And then I have these little water slide decals, and put the water slide decal on this side like that. The thing about clear water slides is you don't have to be super exact when you're cutting out. Well, I cut the top of that one off, but you don't have to be super exact when you're cutting out the image like you do with a white water slide, because it's clear. The edges are going to blend in. So I'm just going to cut these out real quick. Add my paint first, and then what I thought I would do is add some sand on both sides with I think I want to paint first because I don't want the paint to seep into the sand. So yeah, I think I'm gonna paint first. And these are just very random colors. You can use any kind of acrylic paint in any kind of mix. I have no special formula. I have various blues. This pretty, it's pretty random. I want it to look like an ocean, or, you know, the sea. I live at the beach. Everything I make is the beach, because that is what sells and that is what's popular. So these are definitely not a one-day project. This is a multi-day project. There is no perfect way to do this. You do what you want to do. That is what I want to stress, all right? So let's get pouring. I'm not going to worry too much about the bottom because I'm putting sand on the bottom later. So why don't I start with this, since I'm holding it. I don't even know what this is. The blue, I think. And so I'm going to add, all right, this has got a booger in it. Stopped it from last project, I guess. Unstop it.
Just making these all the same and adding a thin line of this blue.
You're tripping on the table, dude. There. Might need more, I don't know. What is that? This is the white. That's the white. This is like a sea glass color. And I haven't done these four yet.
This is a Joanne paint in sea glass. That's the name of the color. And I only had a little bit left in the bottle, so I mixed the Floetrol directly in the bottle for this one.
Blue. Add gold later. Pretty that blue is. Oh my goodness.
Would you believe this blue is a dollar store blue?
All right, I'm going to add some gold, a little bit. All right, now the white is where I'm going to swipe with a little popsicle stick and just, I don't know, create some really cool tones, I think. Don't know if this works. It worked last time. It's just pretty. So, so pretty. How gorgeous that is. Look at that. So pretty. I love that one. Pretty even without a big white piece. I'm gonna try some, maybe just a few. Like that. Okay. I think what I need to do is just kind of let this strip, but I need to somehow need to do a little bit of covering on the back. And I know just do this. I'll just do that. That'll work.
So I have only 20 water slide decals and 24 ornaments. Actually, it's 25 ornaments, but I thought the box only had 24. So the nice thing about this little jig, is I can turn these ornaments sideways. And I just wanted to try that to see what would happen if I did like a rough, dirty pour from the side. And it was so much fun. They turned out really cute. Wait until you see them at the end. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to put the sand on the clear part where I didn't paint. So I'm just sprinkling on a little bit of the sand on the paint that's still wet, and it seems to stick. I'm not 100% convinced that this is the look that I want, but I mean, it's really cute and it's working. So flipping this one over and sprinkling the sand on that wet paint, because I did want to put sand on some of them on the back. And I think I kind of forgot that I was going to put water slide decals on them. But anyway. But I mean, at least I know that the sand will stick to the wet paint. So that being said, I am now trying to figure out, okay, I want sand along the whole bottom of that clear part. I didn't really think that through. I know I didn't want to use glue, so using a little bit of the white paint, actually I think this was the silver paint, I just put a really thin layer on the bottom on that clear part and then sprinkle the sand on top, and guess what? It sticks and it works out okay. So going to plan B, I guess. But if plan B works, well, why not? So I have enough paint on these ornaments that adjusting them so that they're upright, and that's what's so great about this jig, is that I can do that. But there's enough paint on most of them that I can put them upright and then let the paint kind of drip down to cover that clear part. And some of them I do have to put a little bit of paint on, but really not too many. And then I'm just gonna go through and add the sand. I mean, this honestly is probably what I should have done to begin with. But you know, art is about experimenting too. Like if you don't experiment, you will never create new techniques and new ideas. So I love experimenting, and if it messes up, it messes up. So what? I mean, who's gonna know? Who's gonna know? No one's gonna know. The next day, everything was dry, and I'm flipping them over to check out the sand. I lost very little sand, even on that one where I put the sand on the whole back. And the backs look really cool, but remember, I'm adding water slides. I have about a cup of water in an old yogurt container, and I think I dumped in maybe half of the water slide decals, because the water slide decals do need to soak in water after they've been sealed and cut. And you'll know that the decal is done when the image itself starts to kind of slide away from the backing paper. Then you know that it's ready. And this one's not ready, so it's going back in the water for another few seconds. Okay, now it is ready. Now I'm using clear water slide paper, which means the image itself is clear all the way through. I know it's not going to show up as well on a darker background. The clear water slide paper works better when the surface that you're putting it on is very light. So with this paint being a little darker, I know that the decal's not going to show up as well. I could have painted it with white before applying it onto the surface, but I just chose not to do that. I kind of, once this is all over with, I kind of really like how subtle the image is. It just, I don't know, it worked out for the best. But I did buy more waterslide decal paper in white, and I have a link to it in the description. And evidently I either miscounted how many ornaments I had or how many waterslide decals I had, but I don't know, I ran out of waterslide decals and ended up having to put little sea turtle embellishments on the back. Now these that I poured from the side, all I'm doing is taking Aleene's tacky glue and sort of painting it on where the clear part of the ornament is still showing, and then just sprinkling the sand on top of the glue, and it holds it really tight. I really like the Aleene's tacky glue because it's thick and it doesn't run. And when you don't want it to run, it's great. If you do want it to run, then I prefer using Mod Podge, but I wanted it to stay put. So these turned out really cute. I have no idea how I miscounted. I am using KSRESIN Liquidy Split. It's my go-to. I have a great discount code in the description of this video. So if you are interested in buying and supporting my channel, you can go and use this link to get 10% off of your purchase. Liquidy Split is my go-to for these ornaments. Look how cute they are. And once they are completely cured, and I usually let them sit overnight just in case, I just put the little hangers back on. And these are, you know, the little wire hangers. I take them off before I paint and before I do any resin, because you don't want the resin to stick to the hanger. It's not a pretty look. And then I use this really inexpensive raffia ribbon you can find at Hobby Lobby, Joann's. And I just cut probably about an 8 to 10 inch piece, and I just loop it through the little hanger, the ornament hanger, and boom, there you go. I hate those awful wire hangers that you buy in the big pack. I hate them. They tangle. All right. I love these ornaments, and thanks to my jig, I can pour 24 at once, an entire box, and I can collect the drips for these cool things. I can angle them all different ways, make all different kinds of patterns, make pretty things. It's all about the pretty things.